Hello and welcome back to the LinkedIn training. So today we're talking about how to establish yourself as an expert. And the main focus of today is going to be around your LinkedIn profile. So first of all, obviously the most important thing is that you actually have a photo of yourself. And the one that we're looking at here, I took that myself. It's basically a selfie. And I do have other professional photos that I could have used, but sometimes I just think that, the more professional the photo, sometimes that can make you a bit more unapproachable. So, but it can equally go the other way, if you don't have, like, if your photo is a little bit kind of daggy for LinkedIn, that's not good either. But I do really feel that on LinkedIn, there is a really great opportunity for you to stand out and do things a little bit differently. If everyone has like a super professional, corporate looking shot, then you can really stand out by still having a professional shot, but it's not sort of that corporate kind of officey look. So yeah, just make sure that in your photo that people can see your eyes, that you've got a bit of a smile, that you basically look friendly, and you don't look too out of reach. So the next most important thing, in my opinion at least, is this what's called the headline here. All right, so when you are setting up your profile, LinkedIn will automatically put whatever your first job or whatever your most recent job is. So, whatever you have in your experience here, it will all automatically put it up here, but you can actually edit it and you can do whatever you want. So, let me go into the edit mode here. And you see how it says headline. You can type whatever you want. What I would say though is that you need to keep your ideal client in mind when you're doing this. And I really think it's important not to try and cram too many words. Like some people have like a really, like it goes on to 2 lines because they're trying to say so much in that one headline. So my one, it's not terribly sexy, but it's very clear, which I love. So we've got marketing mentor to light workers. And hey, not everyone might not know what a light worker is, but if you are a light worker, you're basically going to know or have a pretty good idea anyway. So, yeah, keep in mind your ideal client when you're naming this. Make sure that you're naming your headline to do with your future, not necessarily your past. All right. So if you've done something in the past that you may not be looking for clients for right now, like one of the ladies I was helping with LinkedIn, she had in her headline that she was a singer or she is a singer, and yet that is not the purpose for her being on LinkedIn. And the fact that she's a singer may have actually disconnected what she was offering from her ideal client. So there were some adjustments that need to be made so that she could be very clear about the type of person that she works with right now. So the next most important thing is actually this summary area. And if we expand it, you'll see that there's a bit of room here to say something. Now, my approach to this is it's really your opportunity to be really personable and really interesting and to show your personality and to express your personal brand. So this tends to be these first couple of lines here are what people are going to see, especially on their mobile device, all right? And of course, most people are using mobile devices. So keep that in mind. So mine starts off with Hola, I'm an Australian living in Spain. Words and the psychology and soul of marketing are my thing. And then I go on to say, who I'm helping. Then I talk a little bit more about me to sort of put that personality and to make me approachable. So I'm saying, at heart, I'm a Francophile, a foodie, philosopher, a word alchemist, and there's a few other words there. Then I go into a little bit of my background story. And this part's really interesting because I've actually a number of clients have come to me because this background story really stood out for them, especially, so what I got up until 2012, I was a burnt out corporate girl working on the Gold Coast in Australia. I was often stressed, anxious, under pressure, and always striving to complete my never ending to do list. People thought I was a real career girl, wanting to climb the ladder, but that's not really what I really wanted. And then it goes on a little bit more. So I've had people say, yeah, I so related to that. That's definitely been my story. And, I want to work at a slower pace and I also want to travel. And so, they really feel that connection with me because we share that common value and interest. And then I just go on to say this is what's happening these days. And then there's a couple of call to actions here. So one is says, are you unclear about your marketing message? Then access my free audio guide. And I've given the link there. I've also mentioned my LinkedIn group, Conscious Women in Business. And I've also mentioned that people can book in for a 30-minute marketing appraisal. Now, what happens here is when you put a URL link, it doesn't hyperlink it, all right? So people actually would have to copy and paste that. But below is what we call media blocks. I'm pretty sure that's what they still call them. There's been so many changes lately. So let me show you how to create one of these. So if we go into edit mode there, and we're going to scroll down. Oh, here we go. All right, so there are two options here. So you can upload a photo and then you can put some text to it and it will come up in a block like this, or you can do a direct link to your website or to wherever, to a blog or that kind of thing. Now, the only thing to keep in mind here is that sometimes when you put a URL link, so it's giving me the opportunity. Let's see, I think I've got something on my, Let's see what happens here, if it grabs the feature image or not. It doesn't look like, so this is this is an example of what can happen, all right? So I wouldn't want to post it like that because it's going to be blank, all right? But let me show you what that looks like. Okay, see how it's sort of up there, but there's just no picture. Now, there's unfortunately nothing you can really do about that to get a picture there. On that particular website, I do have a feature image, I'm pretty sure, but that can be one of the issues. If there's no feature image that actual address is registering, then it's going to show up blank. So one option is to make sure there is a feature image. The other way is that you could just go, well, I'm going to upload the photo and I'm going to name it. So if I grab the photo that relates to, let me grab that. Images. Oh, I don't want that one there. So that will upload, and meanwhile, okay, so I could put some text in there. I could also put like the URL link, and let's just see what that looks like now. All right, so you see how that's the workaround. If the website's not going to show up with an image, you can actually do it like that. All right, and then if you want to get rid of it, you just go delete and delete. And I don't want to, I'll just turn that off for a tick and save. Okay, so So what I've chosen to do here is I've got one of my most popular blogs for my ideal audience, which is about stepping out from behind your modality. Then I've also got this 30-minute marketing appraisal again, like I have mentioned it twice, but that's totally okay. And then I've got this area for my marketing school. So it's a nice little presentation, showing what you have to offer, and I think you can maybe put either up to 5 media blogs or 7, but this is a really great way to showcase your expertise. So now if we just scroll down, we're into the blogging area and the recent activities. So basically, LinkedIn is calling blogs articles. So if we click here, we'll be able to see a list of the different blogs that I've published, all right? So these are all blogs, but this post is like a news feed update, all right? So that's sort of like the Facebook news feed, basically. It's that kind of thing, all right? So there's a summary there. Now I'm actually, look, LinkedIn has made a lot of changes, so some of these things I'm still working out, but with the newsfeed with LinkedIn, things kind of drop off after about a month or so. So it's different to Facebook like that, like how with Facebook it's just always there, whereas articles, they are always attached to your profile, all right? And in this tab here, you can just see all of your most recent activity. It includes things that you've liked from other people, that kind of thing. All right, so let me go back to the full profile. So then one of the first things that you need to do, if you haven't done this already, is to make sure that you've got at least 3 articles / blog posts ready, published basically. And in the other one of the other tutorials, we'll go through this in a little bit more detail. But to get started with this, let's see. Actually, I'm just going to go back to the home screen. I think it might be easier to do it. See here, it says write an article. So that's actually going to take you to the blogging area, and you can see, it's all set up for that. All right. Okay. Now we're going to talk about recommendations. So obviously the thing with the blog posts is that it's just another way to showcase your expertise. I do talk a little bit more about headlines and things like that to attract your ideal client, but definitely to have some published posts with some really nice images is a great way to position yourself as an expert in the area that you are operating in. All right. Just as we scroll down to recommendations, you've just got your experience. This is the resume type area. I probably don't give this as much attention as I should, but I guess it probably just isn't as important as some of these other things. It is, of course, important, but I just put more emphasis on the other things. All right, so where are we? Recommendations. All right, so this again is another great way to position yourself as an expert. And the good thing about these LinkedIn recommendations is that they are hosted on a third-party platform. In other words, they're not hosted on your website. These are real people with real businesses and real, like photos. So it gives you a lot of credibility, all right? So that's another thing to just be looking at doing straight away, seeing who you've worked with, who's on LinkedIn, and you can ask to be recommended. So you can just click that button there for yourself. And you get to choose, which it's usually probably going to be your most recent job or title that's listed there, and you just go through the motions there of asking for that recommendation. And then we're going to have a quick look at endorsements. Okay, so if we expand this area, and we're going to have actually, let's go to see what this looks like. Where are we now? No. I want to show you what it looks like for someone who's visiting. Edit your public profile. I think, yeah, that's what I want to do. All right, so all right, so on my particular settings, you can't actually see my skills, all right? I just thought maybe we could, but I won't spend time on that now. But anyway, these are the skills that I have been endorsed for. So this endorsement section is kind of interesting. Initially, what you do is you add the skills yourself, all right? So, in the beginning, you have nothing there, and you add a few skills. So what have I got? Marketing strategy, business coaching, market research, that kind of thing. But what happens is LinkedIn actually gives people the opportunity to endorse you for skills that you actually don't even have on your profile yet, which is interesting. So let's see what I've got here. So I've actually got some people here that have endorsed me. Like, blogging's actually not on my list, all right? Writing, I probably, if it's not really related directly, like I had one come up the other day that was like Microsoft Office. It's like, I'm so not a Microsoft Office person, so I just ignored it. All right, but in this case, I'm just gonna go add that to my profile, and then with this person that's endorsed me, I can actually have a conversation with her. That's like a really lovely trigger to sort of say, hey, thanks for endorsing me for sales, So I'm just going to add those to my profile. So what else do we need to cover? And then when you are browsing around looking at people's profiles, let me see if I can bring this up. Is this person connected to me directly? Yeah, so she's a first level connection. Let's see if there's an opportunity to endorse her. Sometimes there's a little box that comes up that will say, do you want to endorse this person? But I'm going to scroll down, see if I can. All right, so with these plus signs, this is sort of like the manual way. Usually you will actually get prompted by LinkedIn to endorse people. But if I was just on, someone's site like I am now, I might go, oh yeah, I know her, and yeah, she's a good coach, so I'm going to endorse her for that. I might say, yeah, I know she does, work with sleep disorders. So I could just go along and actually endorse her. And it's great that LinkedIn has these tools, because it really does encourage, conversations, really. And often there's a lot of things new happening in this notifications section. So sometimes it will give you a little prompt. These are all prompts here, that I could start up a conversation based on some activity that person has had with me. All right. So in this tutorial, there's an accompanying section where it's got your implementation activities. So please go ahead and make a start on that. It's pretty straightforward. And if you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me. I'll be happy to help. Bye for now.